हेलो एवरीवन। लास्ट वीडियो में हमने सॉल्व किया था एम्प्लॉयज बोनस। सो इस वीडियो में हम सॉल्व करने वाले हैं स्टूडेंट्स एंड एग्जामिनेशंस, जो कि है क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 ऑफ आवर एसक्यूएल 50 सीरीज। सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। Okay, so we are given with the three tables, that is students, subjects and examination. And in the students table we have student ID and the student name. So student ID is the primary key column with unique values, which means that student ID cannot be null and duplicate. So each of this table contain the ID and the name of the student in the schools. Now there is another table, that is subjects table. Subject name is the primary key column with the unique values, and each of this table contain the name of the subject in the school. So it contain all the subject that the school has. Now there is another table, that is examination. It has student ID and subject name. Now there is no primary key here in the table, so which means that there can be duplicate values. So each students from the students table take every courses from the subjects table, which means every student in this table takes every subject from the available subjects. Okay. Now each of this table indicate that a student with student ID attended the exam of subject name, right? Write a solution to find the number of time each student attended each exams. So there can be cases where there is no entry in the examination, which means that the student didn't attended the exam. So we have to find out the number of times the student had attended. It can be zero, right? And that means that the examination, the entry in this examinations table can be null. Now, one thing is for sure, that the students table, there is like every student in the student table take every exam. This is the case of a join, that is cross join. And every student in the students table, when they attend the exams, there is will be an entry in this examinations table. And if they don't attend the exam, there will not be an entry in this examinations table. But we have to tell the count, that how many times the student has attended the exam. So we want every entry from this cross join. And when the student take the exam, there will be an entry in the examination table, else there will not be an entry. But if there is no entry, we have to like have any way to know, okay, that the student didn't take an exam. So this is really giving any hint that we should use left join on these cross join, right? First we cross join, and on that cross join we will be using the left join with examinations table, so that if the student has not given or attended an examination, there will be null values as an entry in the examinations table, so that we can know, okay, the student has not attended, and we can count it as zero, right? So let me write the query so that you can understand it better. That is, we have to select something, we have to select something from, first we have to do cross join, and then we have to do left join with examinations table. We give this table name E. Okay, now the cross join will be between students. We give this table name of ST, and subjects, we give this table name S. Now on this left join there will be condition, and that condition is, the condition will apply to this cross join and this examination. Okay, so left join has a condition, and that condition is that on this cross join, the st dot, that is st dot student ID, which means that cross join of this will give something, and in that something we have this st left table. That cross join has left table and this right table. From that left table, cross join left table, there is a student ID that must match with this examinations ID. And if it didn't match, then just put null values in the examinations table, right? So that condition is subject dot subject name in the cross join should be equal to examination dot subject name. We want that this cross join has student ID, and that student takes an exam with the name subject name, right? And when we want to look this entry in the examination, we want to match, okay, this is the student ID, that same student ID should exist in the examination, and then the subject name should also exist in this examinations entry, that particular entry. And when these condition matches, we will get a valid entry, and that valid entry shows us that the student with the student name is taking an exam, for example math. So this left side match with the right side, that is student with the student ID, that is same student ID is taking an exam of math, right? So that's our condition. Now let's see the result of this table. So we got the result that student with the student ID 1, that is Alice. Now Alice took three subjects, the same student ID, same student ID, same student ID. So student 1 Alice take programming, and then Alice took physics 2 times. Alice took maths 3 times, right? And that is the same student ID on the right table as well, and the same courses. Okay. Similarly for the student ID 2 and 13. Now what we want is, that is how many times the student, okay, this student, that is one, that we can see that write a solution to find the number of time each student attended each exam. For example, student 1 Alice. Now Alice, how many times he attended programming? 1 time. And Alice attended physics 2 times. Alice attended math 3 times. Okay, so how should we divide this result set so that we can get the required result? So we should be using grouping. So how should we group? Group by student ID. First we'll group by ID, so that we have three groups. One group for the ID 1, then for 2, and then for 13. Now in this group, we further want to divide this group based on the subject name, right? So group 1, and inside this group we will be having three groups, that is math group, physics group, and then programming group. Then that group will give us the count. So for example, this group has three other groups, that is math group, which is 3, physics group give us count of 2, programming give us count of 1. So let's see by writing the query. So group by, so student dot student ID and subject dot subject name. Let's see the result. So now the result we got is that Alice took programming 1 time, physics 1 time, and math 1 time. So we are selecting everything. So what we should be selecting is student ID, that is student ID, which come from two tables. Then st dot student name, subject name, and then we will selecting count of star, that is every count as attended exam. Okay, so let's see the result. Okay, so now we have that Alice took programming exam 1 time, physics exam 2 times, maths exam 3 times. Bob took programming and programming 1 time, and similarly we have other results as well. But what's wrong in this is that you can see that there are zeros for Alex, right? But we got for Alex it is 1, which is wrong. because Alex didn't attended any exam, and when you do the cross joining and you do the left join with the examination table, as I said, if the condition did not match, then there will be null entries. Okay, so when we are counting, we want to count valid entries as 1 and invalid entry, that is null values, as 0. So if there is an entry in the examination table, then only it will be counted as 1, right? And if there is null entries, which means that the student didn't attended the exam, and that counts as a 0. So we want to count that in examination dot student id, or you can write examination dot student name, because both the column will be null in that case. So we want to count if this exists is not null. If this is not null, then count it as 1, else count it as 0. Okay, so we got the wrong result, and the issue is that we are using count. Instead, we want to use sum, because count will count this as 1 only, but we want to sum. So sum is, that is 1 plus 0 plus something like that, and not count that values. So you can see that we got the results correctly. That is, Alex got zeros and all the entries are valid. But what's wrong is here is that we want to return the result ordered by something. That is, first we want to order it by student ID and then student name. So we duplicate this last line. We will do order by, and then we'll see the result. And you see that our test cases has been passed. Now let's try to submit this. Okay, so all the test cases has been passed.